there. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG, Technology Screens. We're doing two types of demonstrations, 36, 24 by 36, excuse me about that, 24 by 36 and 12 by 18 surface. So basically, we're going to be calling this visual TV tech. And I don't want a whole lot of names for this stuff, because again, you know, we got the Flex, and we got this, we got that, and there's so many different versions of it. Well, I'm just going to keep it down to like as minimum versions as possible of the technology. That makes it much more easier for us to market it. But what is that? But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. So I'm just gonna call it what we have it for everything until we design something probably completely different from that. What that looks like. Right there, I have it sitting on my QME 2 projector, 720p, under 600 by 800 res. Is it FPGA? It's a WXGA projector. And as you can see, it's picking up a beautiful image on our PC. That's a clear version I had actually sitting over there on the arcade box over there. And then we're going to do a much larger surface over here. Why is it to me, Taco, that you're sitting over there chilling, when the camera comes on, this is your chance to get in trouble? Yeah, that's what he does. Alright, let me see. Are we in? What is it? Alright. Alright, is it in or is it out? Which one it is? Which one is it? Let's go a little higher. Yeah, buddy, I moved the screen so you can't mess with it. What's going on with the cable in here? Not what all the way through. There we go. Well, we're not signing into that. What the freak keyboard did we hit in the day for that one to pop up? I'm not signing into that. Alright, let me see. Where is the mouse for this one? That's me requesting for something we're not signing into. Alright, we gotta hit keystone for this one. So now we're over here on this one. And I'm gonna try to keep my wires from trying to entangle around my setup here, because that's what literally they're trying to do. We'll go on that one. There. To that system. We're doing the portal system. I got to build the whole side rocket. So right now, I'm doing that later on, but I do want to do some stuff on the stuff we got now. All right, let me see. Hook. Well, we didn't basically turn off the PC. What happened to Google? Google shit on up here. Why is Google not up there? Alright, whatever. Let's see what we got. Japan. Pause. Geesh. First time that comes up. Once we're going to get there. What's that for the videos we're doing? Needs to be here? No. That needs to be there? Nope, finished that already. What's this right here? Oh no, doesn't need to be there either. We're done on that. Right here. This one on the PC. I had to remove the. Actually, I had to remove them. They got to be removed. Actually, not removed, but they got to be sprayed out. So they come off. I got them up there with Velcro, so I can pull those things off at will because I got to go in there with air in the can, which I ordered to spray them out because the radiators are really dirty. They got to be all sprayed out. They got to be sprayed on this side. So instead of gluing on, the radiator system, we Velcro them in so it can pull them off at will. So much easier. I got mine off because right now I'm trying to shred the back of the toothbrush. This is just laying flat. This is how I think I'm going to do them. I think instead of having the whole screen cover, the whole thing, I just put a little piece across, a little screen across, and we can operate with that with the projector to show up the effects on it. I think I'm going to do it that way instead. Ironically, PC's not running through there. PlayStation's running through there. PC's running over here. I didn't have a cord long enough from there to reach here and have to order all those cords for that. I wonder if I could Bluetooth the signal for freaking PC for the projector would be nice. Yeah, we starting this already? And we will. I take 5. So bring it this way, that way. I think I'm gonna do a smaller screen that fits right here and here, so I can start seeing more of my parts. But definitely for the jungle, I got to do a small screen for there. That liquid cooling system pulls all the way out. Cooling system for the hoses pulls all the way out. So I got to put a smaller screen to connect to those. Man, I don't know what's going on. I got a sugar drop. What the freak is going on with my system right now? A little bit drained. Chances are I haven't eaten any sugar. We got another thinner flex surface over there, which actually that's the one that goes to over here. We got another thinner flex surface that show up outside. So we're getting ready to be outside in the snow, because that's literally where I have to be at. And we did summertime. I'm waiting for September to be out in autumn leaves to have recording, and then have one in the winter. So I can have one in all the seasons. Wait, did we miss one? We got summer, winter, fall, and we got spring, right? You got around spring too. It's still not gonna work. You gotta be windows outside of that. You gotta be out. I gotta test something. Let's see if it works. Maybe on the calculator. We're gonna go. So I'm trying to figure out if this thing's gonna run or not. It should have no problem. It should have no problem whatsoever. Video. And you gotta submerge it underwater. You gotta push an image through that. Make sure they're submersible. I should have took advantage of the opportunity when I was over there by the garage. They literally had a creek out there. A creek had full access to it. Easy. And literally could have did videos off this technology we didn't have it at the time. So now I have to make a trip there too. Because I need one where it's sitting, I want this so bad. Sitting on water, make the table legs clear so the water can push through it so it's actually floating on water. Set up a tripod, camera, all that stuff up there and record. I'm gonna get that. I want that for my videos. Alright, let's get to work. I have stuff to do. And so we got that over here running, that over there. I'm gonna throw the LED lights in there. We are gonna put the portal together. I just have to basically make time to get it done. We're definitely do a portal. Once I can see from one end out the other. Then we got the police station went through here, which should run through the PC, but we don't have enough long enough cord to stretch over, so we'll wait till the cord gets here when we get one. Let's see, until then, it's going to be some visual effects on here. What's this? Ooh, a new nebula. This one's got pink in it. Oh, that would look fantastic over there. On that paint sheet over there. And we got the other one, a tropical system running over there. Tropical jungle. This Miss PC's not done yet. Liquid cooling system has to be blasted out and cleaned, so that's why it's down. Still got to finish the whole entire work on it. Ordered a bunch of icicles and Olaf and what else is in there? Melted popsicles and stuff like that are going to be in there decorating it. Frosted it real nice. This one on this side is the nuclear forest, rainforest over there. I ordered a bunch of butterflies, so I'll have to be painted so it goes in there. Butterflies, giant bullfrogs, stuff like that. Yeah, let's see what's going on. What to do over here. We have the Coca-Cola bottle there. And then we have to bring up one of the cubes. We have a cube to show off for advertising. All right. Oh, we're on this one. Ooh. Somebody generate with AI. That's the castle in the background. Ooh, that's eerie. Nah, I ain't feeling that. That's dark and eerie. I like this one better. It's got lights in the background. That was kind of dark in here. This one here. That's nice. I like that one. Alright, let me start building my sides for my portal. Because in the back of my brain, something said, oh, don't get lazy on me now. You got stuff to do. Oh. That's pretty cool. They got roses under the ocean with a little walk pathway. I actually wrote them like that. Areas get flooded, submerged underwater, fish and all that stuff. Or there used to be a pathway there, but not anymore. It's actually covered underwater. That actually does happen. Sometimes we're afraid when we get flowers, but they actually grow. It should be dead because it's too much water, but it actually does happen. You know what would have got me in trouble with these boxes? If I had built PCs and sold them, that would have got me in trouble. Can't do that. This box is I read through the entire contract. As a matter of fact, when I have an account with the United States Postal Service, I read through their entire account. Remember, paper jock junkie. I do paperwork. I do. What do you do? Every time I do paperwork, I learn something new. I like it. Some people hate paperwork. I actually like it. I can't do lawyer paperwork. Something heck no, that's way too much. But I do like doing paperwork. But anyway, yeah, I looked at everything there is. What could you possibly do to get arrested with one of these boxes? If you ship something through here, something that's through here, or abuse the service in any way possible, commit any form of crime, that'll get you in trouble. If you built something and you sold it in everybody's boxes, you can't. You know why? Because this has a copyrighted symbol right there sitting on top of it. That's copyrighted. Trademark too on top of that. Right there. See that little symbol right there? There you go. Yep. So if I sold these, I'd get in a lot of trouble. That's why the PCs we build are actually made from the actual heavy constructed cardboard and they're built from the ground up. As long as I'm not selling it, it's just for my own personal good, I can't get in trouble. But if I sold these things, yeah, I can go to jail. Why when they're making all those campaigns about me going to jail and all that stuff and talking all that stuff on YouTube, yeah, you don't read, do you? I do. So I knew automatically from the door what you can't do. And the Lord would never direct me to do something that would get me in trouble. If He thought there was something wrong before I could ever build one machine, He would have told me right from the door I can't do it. Can't sell these for my personal use. Like if I were to take this box, a bunch of these boxes, I don't know what you're calling. Can't sell these either. So you can't stock up on these and try to sell them and all that stuff. Like that'll get you in trouble. Can't do that. Now, what do you mean by they got it mixed up? They thought for shipping misuse may be a violation of federal law. You thought that me building that stuff at the day or anything in here with it, that's misusing. No, it's not misusing. If I were to sell these, it would have got me in a lot of trouble. which means there's PCs behind me. If I had sold one of those to somebody and I was selling them and using these boxes to make, oh yeah, definitely, gotta got in trouble. As long as I'm not selling it, I'm not in any trouble. Now say maybe I started duplicating the boxes, right? That'll get me in trouble. Anything with that logo on it, throw me in jail. I know the system, trust me. I fill out these forms, I filled out my own forms when it came to my copyrights. I actually did a patent once. I never did that ever again, as long as I live. There's so much paperwork to play. I like paperwork, but not that much. It was possible. Crystal Wave Technology is going to have a patent on it. I did it. It cost me $15,000 to do it. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, you can do it. I bet you when you contacted the agency, when you made the statement, you know what they said? They don't care. I know you did. The reason why, because as long as I'm not doing anything wrong, reprinting these out and selling them, which you're not supposed to do, or manufacturing, building stuff and selling those things using these materials, that can get you in trouble. None of this stuff is for sale. And it's not a waste because all the cardboard here is made by recyclable materials, which means we take all these boxes and watch the process out of recycled cardboard. It's quite fascinating. How you soak it all down the way, it turns into like a mushy kind of paste. It's pretty cool. And then you recycle it all over again. So all these boxes are made out of recycled boxes. So cutting down more trees, recycle what you have. That's where watching the recycling of cardboard got the idea for making my own cardboard projection train that's weatherproof, which I'm researching right now. That's why I laughed when you guys made statements about throwing me in jail and all this nonsense and all these campaigns and stuff. Again, entertaining the demon. Makes you frustrated because you can't get that stick. It doesn't work, so you think of other stuff. There you go, you let it in. When you first let it in, that's when you're in trouble. When you entertain it, that's just when you're in danger. This is where you have problems. Yep, because then you'll get frustrated, and that demon will give you other ideas like, oh, how about we try this? And how about we try this? And knowing it's not going to hurt me at the end of the day, I'm protected, but he knows it's going to hurt you. He can't get to me, he's having a hard time, but he's not having a hard time getting to you. So he's going to invest his time in you. And he'll keep getting you to do more bolder, bigger acts, and you know, it's over. Now he's just got to figure a way to get you off the earth and into this world. They said there was 6. I thought there was more than that fell from heaven. I was listening to scriptures on family radio, and they said there were 6 of them that fell. That's interesting. I don't really read all that into that part right there, but I did read in the Bible that how Lucifer fell from heaven. I do know that Exorcist was a true story, and one of it did speak its name. Which one, the name of who it was. I'm not talking about it. I don't say the name at all, period, but it did say its name. I'll identify who it was. And I'll tell you something. And if you ever saw The Exorcist, if you haven't, don't go watch it. And if you have, and you've seen the horrors and that is nothing compared to what that thing can do. But that's what you invite in your home. That girl from The Exorcist, would you write that in your home? Would you have that upstairs? In your bedroom, screaming and carrying on and all that. Would you have that in your home? Well, heck, you don't want that in it, right? You bring the devil in your house every time you do something. You know you shouldn't be doing. You bring him in there. He doesn't come alone. He never travels alone. Nope. Still in a portal. Ba-doo. Big portal like that. Not they built a portal. Time machine. I'm going back to 1980. Do things a little different. I didn't get to spend all night. I got majority most of the 80s. When near the age of 80s, I got in trouble. I go back and do it. Do something different. Go in the military. That's what I was supposed to do when I turned 18. I was supposed to join the military. The rest of my family members did not do it because I get in trouble. Messed up a good opportunity to serve the country, but I didn't get the opportunity because I messed up. Well, at least I became a Christian out of it. Something good came out of it. First, I was choosing the Army. I wanted to go into the Army. I'm loving this fish tank, man. This whole walkway area, I'm pretty loving that. Over here, can't show both of them off. We got one up there to our PC. The small ones, 18 by 18 by, I don't know the price we have on those yet. We don't know the price. I do know that the ones we have over here are going to be $1,200. So that's what they run for. $1,200. The big ones over here run for $1,200. So I'm going to charge. I think it's fitting for high-end technology. That's a way to do things that screens today cannot do. So many different application use for it. It's used for commercial, business, advertisement, all that good stuff. Put my scissors in. There we go. So it has more than one use for it. Oh, I supposed to look that up to storefront window picking rent. Play around with this. I'm definitely on the site a couple places with it, and I got to be out in the snow with it because I want some demonstrations in the snow. So I want to be to show that when we get ready to sell it, that we had it out in the summer, we had it out in the winter. The winter time's going to be fun because we're playing snow with that thing, and we can have it out in fall. So I'm going to do it in September. September, I'll be working for doing something in fall, because we have more falling leaves. So maybe I'll put some tropical fish. Okay, this thing is pretty solid, so here I'll take this right here. Yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there because, you know, we had some people that constantly went over and over about that. And that's why I said, open up a little bit, start some nonsense, and you invite them in, and he'll get you to do other stuff at the end of the day, which they did, because they couldn't get that to stick, so they started doing other stuff that the devil had them do, and now look at the situation they're in. That's a very depressing thing to talk about. The other one's very depressing. It is very, very depressing. It's sad and very depressing. I'm funny about it. No, we're laughing about it. It's sad. I told you, I've seen people self-destruct on levels that are unbelievable, but I think this one was maybe the cream of the crop on it. I still can't believe he did it. I'm kind of shocked he did it. I thought he would have a lot more common sense to go down that road. Afford everything, to be so bold about it. That's a nice one. So I was out there getting in trouble. I didn't record anything. You would have never known in a million years that that kind of activity was coming from me. You never know in a million years. Now, of course, we didn't have that technology back then either. We recorded everything. But even if we did, no, why would we do it? It's stupid. It's right out in the open for people to see what you're doing. Right out in the open. And you gotta know at the end of the day that you can go to jail for that. I mean, it's not like you don't know. You can go on your phone and Google that at the end of the day what would happen. He's a collector. That's what makes it even crazier. He's a collector. A collector would know these things. The only thing that would save his neck with the other stuff he had, other statues and stuff he has in there that are legit, they'll have to go over everything. They might have to take all of it for evidence. They're going to take everything for evidence. So you can go over and figure out what is legit and what isn't legit. They'll have to go over it. They're pretty much probably going to box everything up and take it for evidence. But, you know, it's not his big, that's not his problem. That's not the big problem for him. He has a bigger problem. And that bigger problem at the end of the day is dealing with those federal laws for counterfeiting and piracy. That's not something you ever want to get caught up in. You never, not in a million years, ever want to get caught up in something like that. Change my scenery. Let's show something else. I want to check if it's critical fruit. Oh, I forgot one side. There's some beautiful food over here. This time I changed out that never that music in the background is driving me nuts. I'm only doing a video of this one and that one. I'm going to finish this screen out because that's a 235.1 and I have it completed. These are the big, different panels, more stiff, rigid panels have to be used for this for bigger screens, which I found out the thin ones are nice, but they don't work too well with something like that. For much bigger screens. Something like this would be perfect for the thin ones. Not that. This we got the show you that one down. And then sit there and say, oh, he does it because I'm jealous. Do you see what I engineer? Again, we're not even in the same circle. You don't deal with ambient rejection. I deal with ambient rejection. I literally have to be outside today to go play around in the daytime with one of these screens. You're not on that same level. We're not in the same category. How can I be jealous? I don't go steal your specification sheets. You steal mine. Steal your labels, you steal mine at the end of the day. You copy literally everything I do. No. Some house paint, gray paint, I dropped that stuff 10 years ago. I don't make that stuff anymore. I give it away for free. Can't be jealous of what you have. Hatred? No. I told you the other day I don't entertain hatred, and that's dangerous. Not like you, I learned from my lessons. That was enough for me. Go through that whole process, that ordeal, go through that whole thing of going to court and in and out and don't even know what the heck your fate's going to be. That's some scary, scary stuff. That's why when I watch those courtroom videos, I do watch a lot of courtroom videos, I know what these people are feeling. It's scary as I don't know what, even though they're there for a reason, but I know what it feels like. As scary as I don't know what. else. One slam of that gavel, and that's your fate being decided on that gavel. Between whether you coming home or you never ever see your family ever again. And you think up there and ponder that at the end of the day, a piece of wood would decide whether or not, once it hits that final judgment, on whether or not you're free or are not free. Those are things you think about, small things. How much power that has. That decision. All those people in there, some are in there fighting for you, and some are trying to put you away. In the middle, that's your life. Very horrible for you to go through, but you put yourself there, so you deserve to be there. That's horrible. And at the end of the day, these people are going home. You sit there and look at these people. All these people are going home to their families, and you know, you're going to spend this Friday. You're going to go back to that place, and they're going to go out and, you know, enjoy life, and you're going to be there. You can't even start your life yet because you're there. That's one of the things I was waiting for, to get out of there. It's going to start my life. I'm just sitting there waiting. 8 years and 9 months waiting. When I can get my opportunity to get out and start my life again, because I messed it up. Ha, you Charlie monster, you. I see you, you Charlie monster. Rubbing your face on the boxes, are you not? You Charlie monster. Hey, Charlie monster. Charlie monster. You Charlie monster. A good name for a software company. Software companies have weird names attached to them. Read the software names of some of these companies. Evil Robot is one of them. If you're the software company, anybody, you can name it Silicone Monkey. That'd be a cool name, Silicone Monkey. I just popped up in my head, but I get so crazy. I'm putting something together here. Oh, this is it, the Call of Duty. That thing looks insane on this product. But unfortunately, we can't show it on here because we're not supposed to do that. I can't wait for this. Call of Duty gets crazier and crazier every time you turn around. I like the Call of Duty, the original ones, the World War II, World War I. Those are my favorites. With the old-fashioned guns, I love those. I'm a big fan of those. Oh, did we seal this here? We didn't seal it here. We're in the wrong direction, bro. So where are we going to go in our portal? I want to go... I don't know where I want to go. I think I'm not painting these in. It'll take too long. I'm going to panel them in. That's what I'm going to do. Panel them in. And that'll just make it easy. For one big panel all the way down, be done. Instead of painting them, because when we get the painting, it's like, I just took too long to paint them in. I like the nebula. It's kind of growing on me now. The person here in the background is like little, it's kind of growing on me. I like that sound. It sounds kind of peaceful. Yes, we changed the handle to seek God, find God, because, we had somebody copying. Again, a person can't keep his hands off things at the end of the day. Now, see how you got to be careful about letting in the evil one, because he'll make you believe you can get away with stuff, and then he'll start putting you on bigger and more interesting paths that lead to a harder fall. Because you think you got away with one thing, they say you can get away with this too. So no, that's it. pretty bad. It is bad. It's pretty bad. I showed a few people outside YouTube what I have, and they're just floored by it. And just unbelievable floored by it. It's unbelievable. Mind you, those videos that were posted, they were transferred to law enforcement officers and to code enforcement employees. That's why we posted them. They weren't posted on YouTube to, it's in self-awareness, yeah, like not, you should not be doing, but those videos were posted so we can transfer those videos, our recordings, over to these law agencies that are involved in the investigation of, Fernando. So that's why they're there. So people think we put them there just to, no, they're put there for more than one reason. That's the reason why we put them there, because we had somewhere to upload them someplace else. We had explained them that the videos had to be pre-recorded because, we don't want them to go missing. And it's mentioned in the videos multiple times, the 3D printed objects, and the storage unit, we mentioned his 3D printed objects, and yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. So if y'all decide to follow down that route, just to let you know that law enforcement agencies do watch online. It's called a cyber cop. And they watch everything, and when you get to court, they'll pull all this stuff up on you and be like, oh shoot, yeah, it's the end of it. Now it's going to get to a point they're going to regulate these 3D printers because people are abusing them. Like the drones. People were abusing drones. They were taking drones and flying them in people's backyards and recording people out there sunbathing and all kinds of stuff with them. And they got to the point and said, okay, that's the end of it. We got to have them registered now. Now you're going to buy a drone, you got to register. You got to know who has it, who owns it. Can't go in certain airspace with it. They had to regulate them. People were doing too much with it. I think also too, on top of that, that sooner or later you are going to see a 911 attached to a drone that's fully armed. I do believe that's going to happen. So I also believe those robotic dogs are going to be used in the police force. Because they're already using the military. They already have them in the military. So they're definitely using the police force. Good luck outrunning Fido. Runs a lot faster than you, jumps faster than you, 10 times smarter than you. Good luck good luck running from one of those. Don't forget, much stronger than you are. So you want to outrun that. Oh, they did show that thing off. They showed it over in Call of Duty. It was called the Mule. That's what it was called. It was a machine to pack all their stuff in. Literally, that was what it was. They called it the Mule. I forgot I've seen that thing somewhere before. But that was huge. Mule was huge. It was huge. You don't remember that? Was it in Call of Duty? That thing you operated called the Mule, and it had guns and weapons on and all that stuff? Yeah, it's like a smaller version of a mule. I knew, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that thing somewhere before. That's what it was at. It was in Call of Duty, the Mule. And there's Atlas robots. Yeah, they're going to become soldiers. Definitely going to become soldiers. And you can put them in areas where you have heavy casualties left. People say, but that's fantastic. That's good. It's good. You can save a lot of lives. At the end of the day, save a lot of lives. But the problem you're going to have is you're putting a machine in warlike scenarios for teaching it. And that means at the end of the day that if that thing turns on you, you're in trouble. You ever watch a movie called Electric State? Oh man, that's an interesting one right there. All the machines rebel against humans and they wage a war against the humans. I think it's interesting how these places put out these movies like Terminator and stuff like that. Because it's like they actually know that the future is going to bring this stuff up. Everybody saw Terminator in the movies, they thought, nah, because we didn't have the technology. Like, we'll never have that. We don't got anything close to that. Now look what we have. We have stuff more worse than the Terminator. The Atlas is far more advanced than the Terminator. Terminator is a stiff, rigid machine, and the Atlas has more flex than a human. That when it falls flat to the ground, it turns its body inside out and cuts back up. Ooh, that's scary as on the wood, isn't it? I think the only thing they didn't have we don't have is that liquid. Those liquid Terminators. And then they're making machines the size of bugs. Terrifying. Alright, I'm always building something in the background, so if you think at the end of the day I'm just talking for the sake of talking, nope. All this stuff I built in here, I'm just in here talking about stuff as I put it all together. All again. So I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do the portal on that one. Well, I got a couple of shooting games I want to do with that. Now to do one of these, you have two choices. You can get yourself a projector that does portrait mode, but they're expensive and some of them are really hard to get, like the Sony VPL FH31s have portrait on them, but they're very hard to come by. I know I tried to get one. Couldn't find one. I got everything else, but couldn't find one. They're not easy to get. But they do portrait. Or you can basically, I like to use the Christies because they have a flat bottom on one side that handles that. Makes it easier to do portrait. You don't have a kind of round body to them. It makes it hard for them to build stands for those. And that one has a handle on one side, which makes it easier to stand upright. And it also has the exhaust system in the front, which actually makes it easier. So you just go over and put your projector in portrait mode, and not your projector, your PC in portrait mode. There you go, voila! Now I have the ability to do portrait. I can put portrait better when it comes to projection screens. Actually, not projection screens, but for my PC monitor, I like portrait better. And because it's a big projector, I used a couple of them for my office screens. But now finding out that the Cumi does, I can do portrait on the Cumi. It's a small machine that can do portrait on it very easy. It's a Cumi projector. Like the Pico projectors has all the options that the big machines have, which is kind of hard to find when you get down to portables. The portables usually have that dinky display that pops up with that either a real player and whatever, and has a file on it, whatever. You know, that's a kind of a corny kind of menu. That one actually has a menu of an actual projector. That's why I like it. The Cumi. So I had a few people trying to do rear projection. And they're trying to do rear projection, they couldn't figure out how to reverse the image, and you can't do that with using other projectors, some of those portables. Cumis have the option of either switch it over, switch it around, you attach them to ceilings and all that stuff. And that's usually what that mode is used for, is attaching a projector to a ceiling or something. And then switch it upside down. Portable projectors are designed to be tabletop machines. Just sit on top of your table with your portable screen and watch your movie off from there. But those have that option. Okie doke. Probably thinking that I'm sitting back, celebrating with my friends that you're going to be going, we'll never see you again. Nope, it's sad. It's sad, Fernando. You know why it's sad, Fernando? You're a gifted person at the end of the day. I've seen those work you do at the end of the day. You have really good, you're really gifted. Why don't you do something else with that, man? You got very good painting skills. Why don't you do something else with it? Make your own design at the end of the day. That would have been cool. Make your own design, and then you go down and you get it trademarked and get it all protected so nobody takes it. But you see the irony in that? That if you were to build something yourself and somebody came along and took your item and sold it and made money off of it, that would make you upset for someone to profit off something you worked hard for. And that's what you turn around and did to all those companies. And if you did that the right way, and you have that skill level to paint that good, you could have made something, man. You could have made some interesting. I would have bought it from you. You got good skill levels. You paint really good. But you go about your life in a different way. It's a shame. There's so many people out there who have such amazing talents, and they never, ever see the full potential because they let the devil come in and take it. Jamie has blessings. You see the work he did, that painting? The painting's beautiful. I saw those two whatchamacallits he had, one or the other. Very amazing paint job. But look what you did with it. Look what you did with the blessings that God gave to you. You did have blessings. But now the devil came in and twisted them and took it and used it the way he wanted to use it. And now look where you're at right now. Now, if the Lord, I can't say what's going to happen. Say you get out of this situation and you're able to become a Christian out of this, take that blessing that you got. If you're blessed to come back here, take that blessing and start an art program for kids. Because you're really good at art. Here it is. Now see, Fernando, see the difference between me and you? You can't say that about me. Because you're full of hatred. That's why. That's the sad thing about it. You're full of so much hatred. I don't hate you. I can literally say that about you at the end of the day. Because I don't have any hatred for you. I don't entertain that part of the devil. I don't have nothing to do with him. They did something with that. That's what I find sad. When I see people with amazing skills and they let Satan take it from them and do what he wants to do with it, it's a shame. They could have did something with that. Hey, Mr. Williams. Williams rides around on an e-bike. You know, him riding around on that bike, more people would come to him because he's an everyday Joe than come to an influencer who has one of those bikes because, at the end of the day, his pockets are getting lined. Well, this is a everyday Joe. This is a guy riding around the city. He can give you like a tour of Baltimore because I would watch him at the end of the day because he would know all the cool spots. This is where you get this from and you get that from. And next time you come to Baltimore, you want to check this out and so forth and so forth. So that would have been pretty cool. And on top of that, you riding around on these e-bikes like that, you would have more hands-on that bike at the end of the day. So you can explain what bikes are pretty good, what bikes you recommend, which ones the batteries last longer, how much is the charging time, how much it costs for replacement parts. All that stuff, you could have made something out of that. Now, you can't run a business out of the unit you're in, but technically you're not if you're basically giving information at the end of the day. And a channel like that becomes informant to other people and you collect all these views at the end of the day, and next thing you got companies sending you stuff saying, hey, look, I want you to test this out for us. Or you have the city of Baltimore might come and say, hey, I like what you're showing at the end of the day. Let's do something on you at the end of the day about, through the eyes of Baltimore through Mr. Williams. You could have did something with that. And then the place that you're at, the apartment complex that you're in that allows you to save your money, you could have saved up your money, got yourself a nice place, and then now you can operate the way you want to, and you go from there. And what do you do with it, with that blessing? You let Satan go in and touch it. And look what he did to you now. See? The devil will take it away from you. What happens? Get in there and figure out a way to take it from you. Don't sit there and watch. He'll sit in the background and he'll watch as the Lord gives you those blessings, and he'll go, let me figure a way to take this, or twist it around, use it to my advantage point to get rid of him so I can have him. You look at Whitney Houston, powerful singer, incredible voice. You gotta be careful. She's a woman who sung. Her father was a minister. They were from the church. But you gotta be careful. You got those young people in the church, beautiful voices, keep them in the church. Don't put them out there in the industry. That money is not worth it. It's not worth your salvation. It's not worth it. Got caught up in that world, and look what happened to her. Got on drugs. She did a concert. She was trying to sing. She couldn't even sing the notes. It was horrible. That voice was not even there anymore. And long run after that, she died. I'm not saying after that, but she died. She passed away. And she had stayed, and they had kept her in that church with the Lord. She could have been an amazing gospel singer. Glorify God. And the devil got in there and got his way. Got to be careful about that kind of stuff. There are demons that cause depression. There are demons that give suicidal thoughts. Yeah. You ever heard of a succubus? It's a real thing. It's a demon. It's a female demon. Giving more thoughts. All kinds of thoughts in your head to do adultery and all kinds of stuff. All different types of them. Job is to do one thing, and that's basically for the downfall of man. You gotta be careful. And the minute you start picking up on that hatred towards someone, you've already opened that door for them to come on in. And they'll start talking to you, and they'll start explaining to you what they want you to do and how they want you to do it. Because they know if you're going against someone who's not saved, they have an option to get two people. But if you're going against someone who is saved, they know they're not going to be able to get that person. They know that from the door. But they can get you. And that's more than enough for them. When he's in there doing all that stuff, and that smile you see on his face, that's the devil. Right there is Satan smiling back. Gotta be careful. That's what Fernando don't understand. You can go on golfing and all that stuff and show money. Money doesn't mean anything to me. I have money. I've had money back in the day. I've made a lot of money back in the day. I used to be a blah, 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 pharmaceutical, blah, blah, blah. I made more money, Jan, you've ever seen in your entire life at 16 years old. I made Bentley money. So I used to work at the Strawberry Mansion in the heart of North Philadelphia when crack first came out. I made more money than you could ever imagine. Money's not everything. Money leads to doing it the wrong way, leads to the wrong things in life. So, stuff you're showing me, nothing at all, period. Been there and done that. And then when I got out and finally got free, and here comes Satan. Now, I didn't have new clothes, and it was in the 80s, and everybody had new gear and all that stuff like that, and I still got the old clothes on that I was locked up with. And I felt embarrassed to be on the bus. I had to go down and see my probation worker a couple times. Officer, I had to go to him a couple of times. And it was just embarrassing to go on the bus and get on these nice new Adidas and sneakers and track suits and jewelry and all that stuff, and I'm looking like that. And I got caught up in that money. Got caught up in that money once again. Yep, came about money. It wasn't that. I didn't go back into that field, but I went into another field. You always get a hustle when you're in the hood. But that hustle brought me money. And that money, at the end of the day, I started going less and less to church. That was pulling me away from the church. Less and less I started going to church. And next you know, I was out there full time doing that hustle. Making the money. I had all the nice clothes. I had the gear, the jewelry. Making $6,000, $7,000 a day. It's making that money. It's making good money. and got caught up in there and left the church. Never went back to, stopped going to the church at all, period. And I would feel this longing in my heart, like an empty hole in my heart, that no matter what I tried to buy, didn't feel it. And I bought dozens of sneakers and jewelry and game systems and all that stuff. And I had for a while, and I get depressed. Depression would come back in, and I would give it away to my brothers. Like, hey, you want this? You can have this. I don't want it no more. I couldn't fill the void. I tried. I bought whatever I can get my hands on to fill the void, and it never worked. But when I had nothing, I was the happiest person on the face of the planet when I was in there with the Lord. And I would see those people out there at the church. Here I'm sitting on the corner. I got freaking $300-$400 sweatsuits on, Air Jordans on. So many Air Jordans stacked up in my closet. It looked like I actually ran a mini Foot Locker in there. Different types of four-finger rings, jewelry, 3 different types of boom boxes. Cause I like to switch out my boxes when I walk down the street. I like to carry the same box. Kangos, Gazelles, all that stuff. 7 or 8 different versions of jackets, different versions of sheepskin. Bought all this stuff, and none of it made me happy. And I sat there and I watched those people from the church, and I wanted so badly just to cross the street, just to go over there and sit in the church. Couldn't do it. Devil wouldn't let me. It was like something was blocking me. I couldn't do it. That money. That's what I found. That's what I realized. And I went through that for a year. About a year to 2 years I went through that. That money, that money, that money, that money, that money, that money. And the more I collect, the more miserable I became. Lord put me through a lesson, put me through a process I had to go through. So one day, my mother got tired of it all. And she said, you know what, Lord's going to change you sooner or later, but you're going to go through a process. So I backslid, she knew it. She said, I got to go. And I thought she was joking. I came home one day with nothing in the house. Nobody was there. My stuff was still intact, but there was nobody there. She moved out and she left. She didn't tell me where she went. So I had to go down to this guy down the street. He bought all this stuff, stuff here and there. You go to him if you want to sell something. And I sold everything that I had to him. And he got me. He got me because he seen me out there flaunting and carrying on. So, figured sooner or later, that joker's going to fall too. And he's going to need some money. At the end of the day, he's going to go broke because he's spending his money as fast as he's getting. And I wasn't. I didn't save nothing at all, period. Because I got it that fast. Shoot, I could blow $6,000, make $6,000 the same day. Make $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Easy. Because what I was doing, it wasn't drugs, it was something else. So I can't tell you or talk about it. But anyway, I made enough to keep a low profile because I didn't drive, I didn't need all that stuff in the day. I just needed my stuff that I need. I wasn't going to hope, if I go on a high profile, I could have a chance of getting pinched, getting caught or something like that. So I kept it at a low level. I can still make my money and still live very comfortably. But still, at the end of the day, I was not happy. And I'd sit there in the room and look at all that stuff and I was miserable. Nothing changed except for I was at that church. When I came back and all my stuff was gone, I sold all my stuff. And then as the money started to disappear, people take more out of you when you don't have nothing. They want to take everything from you. You realize how your friends really are. People you thought you were friends will stab you in the back and all that stuff. And you realize heart bless you in life that the Lord had your back the entire time, and that's when you turned your back on. Long story short, I ended up homeless. Ended up sleeping on a park bench. I went from all that money to sleeping on a park bench, to eating out of trash cans to survive. And I had $100 left in my pocket. I wasn't going to spend anything at all for it. I was just trying to survive on that little bit of money. I go to restaurants and take everybody to treat, spend $1,000, and here I am, $100 in my pocket to my name. So I contacted a family member, and they said, come out there to see them. They're Christians. And I came out there to see them, and I slept on the couch for about a month. 2 months, sleeping on the couch, and the Lord was talking to me the whole time. Speaking to me, talking to me. It's time to leave. And now I got myself back together with the Lord. I reconnected with Him. I had to lose everything to gain back everything. If you know what that is, you understand that at the end of the day. You got to lose it all to get it all. And that's what I had to do. I had to get my salvation back. I had to get grounded, put back on track again. And I got myself back on track. Went back out there and started my path again. Yep. Ended up going from one rented room to the next. I can remember every rented room that I lived in. Every single one. We ended up on Huntington Park. I was over there. And then from Huntington Park, I left Huntington Park. It was his time to leave from there. From Huntington Park, I went to Cambria Street. I went to Cambria Street, and I was there for about a couple of years, and the Lord blessed me with Digital One crystal screen paint. That's where I developed the first screen paint I ever made in that apartment, and so in that rented room. And from that rented room, the Lord, for that blessing, allowed me to leave that little rented room and get my first house. And then I got another house, I got another house, and another house, and the technology kept growing. And Jamie, that's what you try to interfere with. I had that blessing long before you ever knew me, and that's what you tried to taint. That's what you tried to destroy. A bond that me and my Lord had from way before you ever knew anything about me or anything about who I was. A bond that started when I got locked up. That's what you try to interfere with. The outcome of messing with Christians at the end of the day and trying to taint or destroy what they had, their blessing from God, has a very awful, an awful effect that can happen to you. Your life is going to change on so many levels. It is. It's going to change on so many levels. It is going to be a learning experience that you will never ever forget. Two things can come out of this. Either you can build a bond with God or you build a bond with the devil. So when you show me things like, stuff and you try to show it off, it doesn't mean anything to me at all, period. I can make that and have that. That's not a problem. But it's not money that I chase. I chase God. Because I know what money does to a person at the end of the day if you don't do it right. Money is not evil. It's how you use money that makes it evil. That's what makes it evil. How you use it or how you make it. That's what makes it evil. So those things don't mean anything to me at the end of the day. Because I can have all the money in the world. If I don't have God, it's worth nothing. So if it means I have to be poor and broke and don't have anything, I'd rather be that person. If I have to, the Lord tells me, hey, look, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose everything. You're going to be out in the street. You're going to live in a cardboard box. That's where you're going to live at. That's going to be your life. But I can make you rich, super, super rich beyond anyone's wildest dreams, but you can't have me. You're going to find me sleeping in a cardboard box. That's where I'm going to be at. Because I've already had that life already. And I don't want it. It's nothing there for me. So I'll take the cardboard box any day of the week. So anything you got to show me out of that evil money that you made at the end of the day don't mean nothing to me. It's sad, Jamie, that you allow the devil to intertwine in your life that deep, to dig his nails and claws into your flesh, to embed his body next to yours. It's sad. And when you're out there playing your golf game and all what you're doing today, the devil's sitting out there watching and waiting to collect what belongs to him because he invested time into you and he wants what belongs to him. That's why he keeps pushing you to do these crazy things, because he knows he wants to collect on that investment. And now, the situation you're in now, you're about to hit the next chapter, man. There are a lot of agencies who know about your actions at the end of the day. This is going to come to a closure. Your ceiling's about to change. I told you terms about ceilings. Every time you lay down, your ceiling changes. If you lay down, you're in your kid, you're in your dad's house, you see the ceiling. Next you know, you're sitting in a small apartment, rented room, whatever, but the ceiling constantly changes in your life. You know what the last ceiling is? Your coffin. But you can't see it because you're dead. But yeah, the ceiling changes in life. The interesting, someone took a picture of a ceiling and marked the date of it on where they were at when they looked at that ceiling. Your ceiling changes. My ceiling went from being home to different places to being in lockup and looking at the same ceiling every single day for 8 years and 9 months. I looked at that ceiling. And I thought one day it's going to change. One day that ceiling is going to change and I won't see it anymore. One day. And it changed. Yeah. Now, ceiling changes because when you pass away, you're in that coffin. But the sealing changes because soon you won't be in that coffin. Your body's in that coffin. Your spirit goes someplace else. It goes back to the one it belongs. But to the one it belongs, where does he take it? Where do you go from there? See, that's the part you have to understand. That ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Your body goes back to which the primal earth, but the spirit goes back to God. And it goes back to God. God decides where it goes. You can't go to heaven if you're not saved because you can't enter. So you will go to the other one. You will go to purgatory. That one never changes. It's forever. Never, ever changes. That environment never changes, ever. Scary though. Got Nebulon over there. Got Fruit Slice Ninja, slow motion going on over there. Got an urge for fruit now. One, two, phone go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2 more. And we're done. We finish our sides for whatchamacallit. Working on that, getting that done. Got some Velcro over here. I'm going to use some whatchamacallit. Give me a little stand up over the boxes just like this. And then later on, I want to see a size enough for the projector. And we're going to Velcro everything in so I can take everything off and put it right back in. I should paint the front, to tell you the truth. Because if I put the Velcro on and I pull it off, it's going to tear it off. I should just paint over the front. I'm going to paint over the line, just front part of this where I got to put the screen against. I don't want to see that at all, period. So we'll definitely paint over that. That's what we'll definitely do. So I got to go out and get 2 more. And finish this project. Because I do want to see my portal. Definitely go through it. Well, Jamie, I don't hate you. I want to see you saved. That's what I want to see. I want to see you saved. I want to see you serving God. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. If you sit there and say at the end of the day, well, if you want to see me saved and serving God, why did you had to do it, Jamie? It had to be done. Too many crimes, man. You could have killed somebody with that machine, man. You got to understand and take responsibilities for what you've done. You could have killed somebody. You're operating 3 of those machines in that environment. And those things are sitting right next to those curtains. The windows are shut in there. You could have killed yourself. You could have killed your family member. You could have killed one of your pets. You could have killed anybody. What happened if these things would have caught fire? Then from there, what would have happened? You're in that back room, and those things are in the front room. You'd have to climb out a window to get out of there. And you're up on the top floor. And I hate to say it, you're a big guy. I don't think you're going to fit through one of those windows. So there's a good chance you're going to burn to death in that place. And then what about the other people around you? What about them at the end of the day? Don't they deserve to come home every single day and sit in a place that they paid rent for and not worry about the place blowing up or basically burning to the ground or somebody getting sick like their kids or them getting sick because of the fumes that are coming off that thing? What about them? I don't even know where to start with this and all this. So yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. I'm going to reach out to them in about a few minutes. I see me and Cameron showboating and going, yeah, he's going in. This is, you messed. Oh, big time, man. You really messed up. You need to find a church. You should be in a church right now. In a church, on your knees, repenting. No activity of his, and not on his channel. He's an activity on his channel. He's trying to, I guess he's trying to hide it. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. I'm explaining to you. There's no point in trying to store the machine someplace else. There's no point. There's an overwhelming, substantial evidence on you. And they have been to your site already. They have their own documentation. They've been to your site. They have so many agencies asked if your YouTube channel wasn't funny. All that stuff is documented. There's no way. The only thing we can do right now is just when they come, just face it, man. Find God. See my face? Is seek and find God. Seek and find God. The devil's already found it. Seek and find God. Just imagine if you was when they're doing all that work like that, and that suffered to cause his heart to start speeding up. He had a respiratory issue, and he has a heart attack. He dies in that apartment. Do you have any idea where you would be at? If you're running that machinery while you were asleep, and you died in your sleep, do you have any idea, Fernando, where you would be at? You ain't going to be in heaven, I'll tell you that much. You'd be in hell. Right now, you would be in hell, burning. That's where you'd be in purgatory, suffering, being tormented, and tortured. And the fact that that did not happen to you, and the situation you're in, that should tell you right there, you need to get down on your knees and thank the Lord and get your act together. That's what you need to do. Any given time, Jamie, you're out there doing what you're doing, you could have died. Any given time. Lord could take you any given time he wants to. And you could have literally died operating that machinery. Anything could have happened to you. If you had died, that means there's your chance right there, you're gone. The fact you have not died, the fact that you're still breathing right now, you need to repent, find God, confess your sins to what you have done, and take what you need to have to take, what has to be done. You have to put trust in God that he's going to get you through what you have to go through. That's what you're going to have to do. Just so I sat there, I told you, when I was in lockup and they let me go home, I got a day with my family. I sat there at the door thinking, man, if I could walk out that door, chances they probably won't find me, but chances they might will find me. Who knows? You know? Got a lot of family deep down south, hide somewhere, probably never find me ever. But then again, they may find me. Am I willing to take that risk? I'm willing to spend the rest of my life looking over the top of my shoulder whether or not someone's coming to get me. I don't really want to live that way. And the devil was right there in that doorway having that conversation. So you need to walk out that door. Nobody will know. You'll be gone, just like that. And my mom saw me thinking. She seen the door opening up a little bit. She came out and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, nope, don't do it. You'll be hunted for the rest of your life. You will never, ever be truly free. Give it to God. Walk the path. But I had the Bible. I was reading that Bible. The devil came in and said, you gotta run. God's not going to save you. I'm home right now talking to my family. If that was the case, I'd still be in that place at the end of the day on Christmas. God's not going to save you. You got an opportunity. You might want to run. You got an opportunity. Take it. Now I was hearing them beckoning me in. The Lord, my mom stopped me from doing it. I'm glad I went back. I became a stronger Christian, much more faith in the Lord. I'm glad I didn't listen to the devil, because he'd have got me in so much trouble. He'd have tracked me down in no time at all, most likely. I went back and I did 10 times more time. I would have got that 40 to 80, because that's what he wanted. I'd have got it. It was God's intention for me not to get it, to do 10 years, and it was his intention for me to get the 40 to 80, to die in the prison system. And if I had walked out that door and listened to him, I would have lost everything. Good thing my mom was there, a good Christian woman, to put me back on track. I turned around, walked in, sat down with my family, ate my food, and I handled it like a man. When they came to get me, put the shackles on my feet and my hands, and I walked into the vehicle, and I waved goodbye to my family, and that's where I left. I went back in. When my sentencing day came up, I got 10 years. But I could have got 40 to 80 if I had ran. So I took it like a man and did what I had to do. I spent from 16 until my mid-20s by the time I got out. Big chunk of your life in there, in between that spot in there. At least at the end of the day, I'm free. I don't got to ever look over the top of my shoulder, ever. I found my salvation with God. My life got saved twice. I got saved because I could have went to the prison system, would have died there. And I got saved again because of that internal life, internal salvation. I got saved in this life and the next life. Same thing can happen to you. Or you can take this and be bitter and angry lash out at everybody, lash out the court, lash out at everybody. It's all their faults at the end of the day that I'm in this situation. And the devil will put you in a situation where you end up getting killed. And you really get a chance to see what's speaking to you. I explained to you, Fernando, I've seen demons. You will get a chance to see what is speaking to you. The demons I saw were a little different. The demons I saw were still in somewhat human form. They were strange looking, but they were in human form. I would never want to see what they look like out of that form. But you will get a chance to see what they look like in their actual form. They are ugly, hideous, beyond any kind of imagination. That they're beyond that. Yep. I think the Lord put me in that situation. I saw him for 2 months. I saw demons for 2 months. And I'm thinking, like, why am I seeing these things? They used to walk up to me and have a conversation with me out of nowhere. And I'm like, why am I going through all this? Now, they weren't allowed to touch me because the Lord made it so. But I saw these things. I saw them. Every once in a while, I see one. I do. It reminds me, don't get caught up in that world. Don't ever get caught up in that world. Never go back to that world again. I've seen them. I've definitely seen them. And when you become a Christian man, the Lord may make it so for you to see them also too. To warn you at the end of the day, don't ever go back to that world. Don't ever think about that world. Ever. Don't allow Satan to come in and plant evil and hatred, jealousy, and envy in your heart. Never let him do that. That's when your downfall. That was Satan's downfall. That's how he lost his position in heaven. And jealousy, envy, hatred, all that. He lost it because of that. So no, I'm not jealous of you. Why would I want to be jealous of any? I'm not jealous of any other man. No man. I'm not jealous. Why would I be jealous? There are guys out there that are 3 and 6, 10 times my size. Boy, they're big guys. That's why I bump these guys all the time. I'm out there. You think I'm jealous about them? No. Look at them and they say, wow, that's pretty cool at the end of the day. Now, they're not used to that. Used to guys being jealous. No, I find that fascinating. How much work did you have to do to get like that at the end of the day? Well, it's interesting. I watched the whole entire documentary on bodybuilders. Good gracious. It's freaking insane, but it's fascinating that they go through these crazy rituals of diets and calories and all this stuff. They're very careful about what they put in that body at the end of the day. It's their machine at the end of the day. Very careful about it. You gotta have a respect for that. That is freaking cool. That they take the time to calculate all of that. And they're lifting and all that parts of their body that they're building up. I think that's beautiful. They've improved their bodies. I think that's incredible. I'm not intimidated, but I'm fascinated by it. I find that freaking amazing. Nice job at the end of the day. That is awesome at the end of the day. I'm not on this earth to tear people down. I'm not about that life. I was that person. I never want to be that person. That person died a long time ago when I picked up my cross. When I got baptized, all those sins of that person washed away. I'm not that person anymore. And I learned a valuable lesson in this whole entire ordeal, Jamie, of knowing you and your group. That no matter how hard the devil may push, he can never get that person to wake up again. Not ever. When you can't get it to wake up, no one can make it to wake up. It's dead. It's never, ever going to come back, ever. Never. That makes me happy. It puts a big old smile on my face. When I pray to the Lord and I ask him at the end of the day to put my enemies in that Bible, the Lord takes care of it. All my enemies I've watched down through time have fallen. Every single one of them. Some have fallen where they were able to get back up and change, and some fall and they never got back up. Some died. Do I feel happy about that? No, it's a sad thing. When you watch your enemy fall. It's a sad thing. Because you want your enemy to be saved. You want your enemy to find Jesus. That's what you want. I have to catch myself sometimes because being with these people attacking me all the time, and I have to remind myself at the end of the day that when I go file these charges, when I do, I have to pray and put that in God's hands. I ask the Lord that don't allow hatred to enter my heart. and for me to do this out of hatred. I have to pray on that. I have to ask for guidance before I do something. Permission before I do something. I have to ask myself at the end of the day and be honest with myself 100%. Do you hate this person? If there's anything of me of hatred toward this person, I give it to God. I don't want to give the devil any opportunity in. Jamie, you allow the devil in. You have. So, what's happening to you and what's going to happen, and I said, I feel sorry you're going to go through this. That process is like no other, but your process is much different than most. I have no idea how people eat that stuff. I don't get it. I just don't find it fascinating. I've been to these places before, all this stuff. I can't eat that definitely seafood, that would kill me. But anyway, yeah, I've had all this stuff. I'm a cheesesteak guy, hamburger, pretty much that's me at the end of the day. You give me some $1,000 plate with some freaking baby carrots and peas drizzled and whatever on top of it. I mean, not to disrespect anybody, the chef. I mean, hey, I did it myself, but I can't get into that. I'm a hamburger, cheesesteak, French fries kind of guy, slice of pizza. That's not me. I had a brother one time trying to take me to a fancy restaurant to try to broaden my palate on the taste before I went to school for it. He broadened my palate to try to educate me because he's a Fraser with a high-end level of life. And he tried to bring me, I saw the food, I was like, what the freak is this? He was like, food. I said, hey, it's not food at the end of the day. I wouldn't feed it to my pit bull. There's nothing there. How much does this cost? I'm not paying for it, he's paying for it. How much does it cost? Like $1,000. Got money like that to blow, but $1,000, I'm like, I'm good. I'll be back. I went and got a cheesesteak. Right around the corner, came back with a greasy brown paper bag with a cheesesteak in it. Ate it right there. I used a fork and a knife, by the way, but still, I ate it right there. Well, that's my food at the end of the day. I don't care how. If I'm super, super rich, I ain't eating that stuff. There's nothing in there for me to eat in there. I'm good. Don't give me a hamburger. I'll be back. That's me. Oh, I like people like that. People that are super rich and then just feel that's I don't know why people do that. Why people try to please people like that? I never understand. I watch movies like that where people do their best to try to please somebody. Maybe because of the money, that's why, I don't know. But anyway, they try to please somebody like that, you know what I mean? And they laugh at them, they get all embarrassed, they run out. Oh, heck no, I am not getting embarrassed. I'll use any fork and any spoon I want at that table. I couldn't, sir, that's a soup spoon, whatever, I don't care. As long as it's putting the food in my mouth, it doesn't make a difference. It's doing its job. That's how I see it. But you cannot use that fork. It's the wrong fork. I don't care. If it can get the food to here to there, that's all that matters. If not, I'm using my hands. How barbaric. How barbaric. Well, speaking of barbarics, the barbarics are actually excellent fighters at the end of the day. They're actually quite civilized. If you think about it, within their own realm, they were. Just because you don't understand it doesn't make them barbaric. Just makes you ignorant. But anyway, I want to get back to go to my portrait because now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my portrait. I did one a long time ago. I had a stingray. Stingray is my favorite fish. I like them like they glide. I think we're going to go to stingray. Imagine these boxes right here and that plexiglass right there. We're going to go to a portal and look through another world. It's freaking crazy. I wish I had the projector mapping technology. It would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, we're going to go to something. Nice portal. A magical portal. So if that thing activated and became real, well, I'm going to get my cat, back up, I'm going through. Yeah. Doing the box. Where'd you like to go? Destination. I like to go to 1980, please. I'm never coming back. I love the 80s. Minus the part that got in trouble, but I love the 80s. The music was better. The food was better. The clothes were better. The style was better. Everything was better. TV shows were better. Everything was better in the 80s. Every freaking thing was better in the 80s. And some of them may say the 70s. And, I got family members that are around in the 70s or teenagers in the 70s. Yeah, they think. But I think the 80s was the best. It was the best era of all eras. It was. It's how artists redefined themselves. You had freaking Friday night videos. The first time you saw videos, you listened to the music, and now you can watch it in a video, MTV. Are you kidding me? All the best movies were in the freaking 80s. Now, I say that's amazing cars in the 70s because I grew up in the 70s too. So, yeah, that's some crazy cars in the 70s. But, yeah, The 80s were freaking nothing like it. The video game era was freaking amazing in the 80s. Everything was amazing in the 80s. Everything. Food, music, clothes, culture, all of it. Yeah, I would definitely go back to the 80s. I had a ball, man. I had fun. So much fun, man. I had a chance to, can't believe I got a chance to live that life, man. Walking up and down the street, big old boombox, listening to LL Cool J, got the Kango, glasses, the jackets, the graffiti, the rhinestones, the rhinestones, they had it clothes and everything. Did all that stuff, man. The bedazzle. They had rhinestones and stuff that became a big thing. The acid wash jeans, the LA gear. You had the LA gear with the acid wash jeans, you wore with the tongue, wide tongue would just stick out. You would ball your socks up around the bottom, probably padded with a little sock at the bottom, so it would stick out a little farther, so your cuff would just fit right in there. Man, that was a good era, man. That was a real good era. So I got a chance to hang with everybody. I hung with the Jamaicans. I hung with the Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans were fun as I don't know what to hang around. Oh my goodness. What did we not do? Man, that's how I first learned how to do tags. Hanging around with them at the end of the day. Man, they did some pretty cool stuff, man. Clothes, music, culture, all of it was beautiful. Man, I had so much fun, man. So much freaking fun. Breakdancing? Oh, they love the breakdance. They like the breakdance so much, man. We had so much fun. So much fun, man. Yep. That was a great era, man. That was a great, great freaking era. A lot of craziness going on, but still, great era. Man. The dollar parties. The freaking Project Dollar parties, man. Someone would be at school passing out pamphlets on a party at the projects. I remember Fridays where they had the project party, just like that. Just like that. That's what Fridays remind me like that. Just like that. Man. Had a lot of fun in the 80s, man. This is when I was working that job, working at Pizza Hut. My first job was at Pizza Hut. Yep. Made my own money. First time making my own money at Pizza Hut. Smell like pizza every freaking day. Ate pizza just about every single day. But man, still, I had my own gear. I had a buddy that said hang out at Pizza Hut. He liked to party, go to clubs and stuff like that. That's the first time I went to a club, but hang around with this guy at the end of the day. Cause I used to just go home and hang out, just call up my buddies at the end of the day. That's what I would do. But working at this job, I met this guy who was a party boy. He used to go to all these different clubs and stuff like that, and he knew a lot of people. And this is way after I got into Roxy. But yeah, I met this guy at the end of the day, man. And he was going to all these different clubs and stuff. You know what the clubs and stuff? He's a dishwasher. We have both dishwashers at the Pizza Hut. He was out there talking like, man, you know what you do, man? What do you do when you get out from the job and everything? Where do you go? I said, I just go back to the room, chill with my boys. He said, man, that's something better than that. You got to party your rising, man. You go out there and party, have some fun at the end of the day. You want to hang out with me? I was like, okay, whatever. So we both get paid. We go down. I said, a sister worked at City Blues. We go to City Blues, get ourselves a discount on our gear. Go down and pick up our sneakers over at freaking Foot Locker. Got our gear, sneakers, all that stuff. All children ready. And then he didn't live too far from me, which I was surprised because one day we just walked home from Broad Street together, and he went down one side. So I was like, wait, you live down there? Like, I live right over here. Like, we live right almost in the same neighborhood. It was crazy. So what we would do is we would buy our gear. We would put it in the office with Richard, because Richard basically was the head manager, and he was cool with Richard. That's how I ended up getting out of it. We got out of the district, we started working up front. But anyway, so long story short, Richard would allow us to store stuff in there. And then when it got late at night, we bust down the machine, we get geared up, dressed up, washed and cleaned up there, and gear on, and then basically go out with them and party. And that's what we did. And they go to New York City, to all kinds of places. In New York City, all these clubs, they know from New York City. We got in every single one of them because they knew everybody. Yeah. It was crazy as I don't know what. I had that much fun in my entire life. I had all those different clubs that were hard to get into. And yet all these people sitting out there waiting in line to get in, we just walked right on in. Because they knew all the bouncers, they knew the managers. Richard was gay, which I don't care at the end of the day, but Richard was gay. And Richard had a lot of party friends, a lot of heavy connections at the end of the day. So he popped up automatically in. I was like, man, like this magic wand to get into any club we wanted. So he had no idea how connected I am. Richard was a manager at Pizza, and I had no idea his party life was that extensive. He got into any club we wanted to get. He could get in the Studio 52 or whatever. He'd been in there a couple of times, or whatever place to go. Yeah, Richard been in a lot of places, man. Richard knew a lot of people. I'm like, what the frick are you working at pizza? He said, I like the job, I like the people, you know what I mean? He was in fashion and all that stuff. A lot of people knew Richard. Like, I met the people that were around him, I didn't even know he had that kind of lifestyle. Like, he knew that kind of power, kind of people. He knew a lot of powerful people. Richard was low key. That's how he was. But he had a party. He had a party life. And when we hung out with Richard, Richard got us in every place. And we never sat in line. We walked right up front and said, hello, girlfriend, how you doing today? And said, hey, Richard, how you doing? Boom, right in. I was like, what the freak? Like, yeah, it was crazy. We got into every freaking party. Every party. And then after that, the people he knew at the end of the day, they had the back room with the VIP. So we were back there with them because we were with Richard. And Richard would sit there and go, we're going to have an after party after this. And you went to a party, and then you went to another after party. And you could be partying all night, especially in New York City. It'll be after party after party. And then after that party dies down, hey, there's a buddy of mine. He got a party happening over here. And next you know, you over there. And next you know, you over here. And the sun's popping up. And some of these people still party like, okay, I'm done. I got to go. I had a ball. This is in my teenage years. I had a freaking ball. Yeah, it was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. So that's when I watch movies about when people have a party. Hey, my buddy got a party gonna have over. Okay, I've done that one already. It's crazy. And I was still underage. Good gracious, I was still underage. Yeah, I started Pizza Hut young. And when how I got in there, you're supposed to be 18 to get in there. My mom, I don't know what she did, man. Who she talked to, how she's always good for that. She talked to somebody and they got me the job. They hired me. I was young and I was about 15 and working at Pizza Hut. 15 years old working at Pizza Hut. And then, you know, meeting these guys at the end of the day, I was getting to any club I want. With them, hanging out with them. I was real young looking. I would still walk right in there. Dance, have fun, party. Whole 9 yards. Yep, 15 years old, going to any party I wanted to go to. And these are all adults in there. I was in their party having fun. And I ain't doing any drugs or nothing because I'm not that kind of person. I don't drink. Mostly I had orange juice or something like that, or some, ginger ale or something like that. I wasn't drinking nothing like that. And he didn't drink much either. He drank a little bit, but not much. But yeah, it was just cool to see all that stuff. It was crazy. People pulling up in fancy and expensive cars and stuff you see on posters hanging on your wall, like, oh my God, like, is that thing real? Like, it's crazy stuff, man. So when I tell you at the end of the day, Fernando, I lived an interesting life, very interesting life. I've seen all that stuff already. Been in all different types of cars and limousines and expensive cars and all that stuff, man. A buddy of him drove a Lamborghini Countach. He rode one of them. We got in the back of that, not the back of, we got in, I got a chance to get in the driver's side. For him to drive it around, oh my goodness, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Of course, nothing but power. At the end of the day, you can feel it. When it takes off, you can feel it. It's like a chest caves in a little bit. It is insane. He was in the parking lot doing donuts in that car. Yep. Freaking 3 o'clock in the morning. The $300,000 car doing donuts. And we're getting the driver's side. He was doing the donuts and driving around. It's pretty cool. Like I said, yeah, I lived a very interesting life. I met some really cool people. And through Richard, hanging out with him, I met people in the fashion business. That's how I got caught up in that life at the end of the day. That's how I learned about making clothes and stuff. I had buddies of mine in the hood. That's why I said you can't be just... I don't approve of the lifestyle of people that are homosexual. But I'm not going to bash you or hit you or this. No, at the end of the day. You need help, I got your back. I mean, you need someone to talk to, I got your back. At the end of the day, you're still my brother at the end of the day. But some people look at me today like, oh, this and the other. That's for God to decide at the end of the day. That's for God to decide. I'm not here to judge you. That's not my job. I'm not a God. Unless you can see me walk on water, or basically I can separate the heavens and the earth and all that, then that makes me a God. Then I have the ability to judge. But until then, I'm not a God. I'm just a man at the end of the day. And a lot of good friends were gay. They're the most interesting people. I mean, like I said, I don't approve of the lifestyle. I don't. Religion-wise, I don't. But still, they're the most interesting people, boy. I had a job I couldn't stand. If it weren't for my buddy coming in, I wouldn't have made it. I hated that job so much. But I had to work because my mom needed the money. If it wasn't for him coming in with them kooky expressions and, honey, you see the dress she wearing? She had lost her mind. Somebody needed to find her. He had me crying. Like, yeah, there's some cool people. My buddy Lonnie at the end of the day, another good friend of mine, there's to hang out with, chill with at the end of the day. He was another cool person we used to hang out with. Lonnie had you laugh so hard you pass out. He would literally pass. It was hard to skate and be around Lonnie. I'm trying to concentrate and absorb air and try to get my oxygen levels up with some skating and pushing in there and moving. And Lonnie's back there cracking the most jacked up jokes you've ever entirely. I almost passed out a couple times, crashed into somebody else, laughing around with Lonnie back there, acting up. Oh, he was hilarious. He was an interesting dude too. Real funny guy. Wall Street guy. He's a Wall Street guy at the end of the day. Lonnie made money. Lonnie made a lot of serious money. Lonnie was interesting. He was a funny dude to hang around with. Almost passed out and slammed into a bike. The guy came out of the bike, almost ran into him, laughing at Lonnie's jokes in the back. He was interesting. Oh man, I heard they're bringing that back to New York City to skate. I saw it. Somebody sent me a video. I rollerblade, man. I play hockey, all that stuff on there. I'm going back. I'm getting some permission. I'm going to New York City. They got a skate up there that they're doing. I'm joining that. I'm definitely getting involved in that. I miss this skate. I'm gonna get me permissions. I'm going up because I've seen it. I've seen a whole drove of people. Thank God you finally bring back rollerblades. Took freaking forever. For goodness sakes, about time. Man, you know how much money I invested in that stuff at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm glad they brought it back. I'm going back up there. I'm suit up and going up there to go chill out with them. Because man, I haven't been back on rollerblades in years. And once you get on it, you never forget it. At the end of the day, hopefully. It might help my legs a little better. So yeah, I'm going up. I'm definitely going up. She sent me the video. I was like, yo, look what they're doing in New York City. They're doing city skates out there. And Philadelphia had the city skates. If you ever did the city skate and Philly, man, that was the best time of my freaking life. 300 skaters meeting at the top of the art museum. It was the most hilarious and most fun I ever had in my entire life. Within that pack of all those skaters, you had different groups of people. You had your speed skaters, aggressive skaters, and then you had your freaking hockey. I played hockey at the time, but I did aggressive at the same time, so back and forth. But anyway, and in between you had your stoners. Stoners stayed more like in the back, way in the back. I had a couple friends of mine who were stoners. They skated, they listened to music. One guy played the guitar. He had a guitar with an amp on his back, and he played country music. He was a pretty cool dude too. I seen him one day. That's how we met him. We're sitting out there skating, and we're chilling out there one day, just sitting at a bench, and we seen him skate by with a guitar and an amp on his back. He's playing country music. He's really good too. So we all started skating behind it because we liked the music, and we got to talking and everything. We became good friends with him. He's a country singer. We met a lot of cool people. So then he was out there too. He's in the group in the back. And a bunch of people listening to country music while they were skating because he was playing. And then you had the stoners. The stoners were in the row in the back. They had these fanny packs and a little tiny. That's what I found out were Caucasians like that. White people like to have little utensils with the weed because we smoke it this way. But they have little. One guy had a little like a thing you pinch it with and you smoke off of it or tweed, whatever it was. I was like, oh, you guys got utensils. He's like, yeah, utensils. They're hippies too. They're cool. I don't know what. They were hippies. And they were back there smoking their stuff back there and chilling. This is way back. Back there smoking their stuff and back there having fun. And then in between that, you had the guys with the music with the guitar. And you had the speed skaters were up front because, of course, they were faster, big wheels, and they were all up front. And then the aggressors, we would be way in the back because we'd be jumping on stuff and sliding off rails and stuff like that. And then we had to catch it with the pack, and then we'd jump on this, slide down that, and play around a little bit and catch it with the pack. Or sometimes we'd be ahead of the pack. When we were ahead of the pack, we get a chance to play with stuff a little longer before the pack caught up with us. But either way, we had a ball. A whole bunch of us. And at one point, the city wanted to shut it down. But you got 300 skaters pushing into stores to buy, not do the stuff they do today. No, going and buy and stuff. The stores made a lot of money. They made a lot of money. Got 300 thirsty, hungry, thirsty. They go in and they buy just about everything. They buy food. We'd be in 7-Eleven, packed in 7-Eleven. Sodas, drinks, food, some of the microwave stuff, whatever. Just being at the end of the road, just buying stuff. Downtown, we'd be downtown. You got 200 people just fresh downtown. People buying. I went across the street. I got comic books. I'm down there anyway. Got a couple of comic books. Got a piercing in my ear. Went to Soho and got another piercing in my ear. Did some shopping. Went and got some heavy metal T-shirts and stuff like that. Carry a backpack on me, so I throw everything in there. And I carry sandals so I can, if I have to go walk around the store, doesn't allow me in the store. I can put my sandals on, put my skates over my shoulder and walk in. But anyway, it was fantastic. So they made a lot of money off the skaters, a lot of money. So they were saying, okay, you got to get this thing under control because you got skaters going everywhere in the city. This can cause potential car accidents. They can get hit, they can sue the city, get under control. So they started this thing called the skate patrol. And these guys would come up and they had the helmets on, a little flash in the back of the helmet, little fanny packs, a little group of them, and they had a little cross, like a red cross symbol in it, and you had to follow them. And they would tell you, we all skate this way. But then they became jerks, because you know what happens when people get power at the end of the day. They become drunk with power, and they start doing dumb stuff. They start commanding, and then they got the nickname jacked up, but they got it either way, because they got a little bossy. They got commanding in it. You don't tell me what to do at the end of the day, because that's what we got to. We got the arguments popping up, and they got too bossy. Oh, you gonna do this? Oh, no, the freak I am. This a street. I'll go where the freak I want to go at. Yeah, it got kind of hostile from time to time, and they got the nickname skate Nazis. Man, they were dubbed the skate Nazis. Oh my goodness, I never forget that, man. They dubbed them the skate Nazis. It's funny because they had a red band on their arm. They had a little red band on their arm. But that band was for something they had. It's for safety, whatever. Because look at them. They're like a bunch of Nazis something. And I was like, oh snap, here we go. Well, you know what? We're going to call them the skate Nazis. And that's how it started. They literally got that nickname. It stuck too. Definitely stuck. Definitely stuck. Because, yeah, people walk up to him like, you're a skate Nazi? Yeah, it's stuck. It did. But anyway, long story short, when you really think, we started getting understanding what the purpose of why they were there because, without them, the city could easily come in and ban them. They could ban all the skaters from being in certain sections of the city, and this would make it awful. That means we wouldn't be able to skate where we wanted to skate. So they're the ones who actually brought a little, security to the city that they had under control. So we had a little talk with them at the end of the day. All right, we'll lose the name at the end of the day, but you got to be a little lenient. You can't be too bossy with it. Just, treat people with respect. And it kind of worked this way out. Everybody learned to respect each other and then have skates and stuff. Pretty cool. So, pretty cool. You get to meet a whole lot of different people from all over the world. I met all different types of people from everywhere in the world that came out to skate. People would come down to Philadelphia, and they'd be the first time coming to Philly, they bring their rollerblades with them, because we had that whole thing there. We had the whole skate thing. People from all over the place. Where you're from Georgia, Washington, D.C. We had people from Cali down there. A lot of people from California down there. A lot of people from California came down. The skating in California was huge. It was huge. Probably still huge now, but the rollerblading and skateboarding was huge down there. They were up here in Philly. Like, okay, that's freaking cool. So, okay. What's it like down there? Really? We share information back and forth. It'd be pretty cool. Okay, if you ever come down to California, let me know, we'll chill and do something. Okay, fine, man. I'll see you when I get down there. It was freaking cool. You met a lot of cool people. That's what I like about these meet groups. You meet a lot of really cool people at the end of the day. And when they get done skating, there's a particular group that like to go to the bars and drink. I don't drink at the end of the day. But the stories I would hear the next day were freaking hilarious. They were actually funny as I don't know what. I'm like, man, I want to be a part of this so bad, but I don't drink. So I was out there one day, and they're like, kid, how come we never see you at the bar? I said, because I don't drink anything. You don't have to drink go to the bar, man. You can have like some orange juice, some salsa water, whatever. They got juice over there too. You don't have to drink it. Just come over here and chill with us. I don't want to chill with them. They're hilarious as I don't know what. Oh my goodness. Oh, Nicolas Cage, which was an interesting one. The story of Nicolas Cage, not the movie star, a 12-inch, about a foot, African tarantula. Someone had one. I'd never forget that. So I'd never seen anything that big in my life. I've seen spiders, but nothing on that. That's a 12-inch. It was huge, and they had it as a pet. So we bumped into this girl. She's usually sometimes with us, sometimes she's not. But she's at the bar that day. We all got to chilling and hanging out and everything. She said, hey, you guys want to go back to my place? I'm right on South Street. She was right on South Street. And we go down to her place, and she's got this narrow, you got a store on this side, but you got that narrow staircase all the way to the top. She's up on the top floor. It's pretty cool because you can look out on the balcony, so the cars passing by. It's pretty cool. And she was like, hey, you guys want to meet Nicholas? I was like, Nicholas who? Like, Nicolas Cage. You call him Nicolas Cage, he was literally in a cage. She said, Nicholas. She didn't tell what Nicholas was when she bought it out. So she bought this thing out. It looked like a hamster from the end, but the legs were wrapped under her hand. And she had it like this, and Nicholas' legs were in between her hands and wrapped around at the bottom, and we just saw this big furry ball. So I'm thinking it's a hamster. Ooh, yeah, you found it the hallway. So when she did like this, it jumped on the table. That was a big, big spider. I've never seen anything that big in my life. And the thing about Nicholas at the night, Nicholas knew you were in the room because Nicholas moved in the direction you were at. Now you turn to the side, the spider turns towards you and turns towards you. Yeah, and Nicholas had jumping capabilities, which I didn't like because I watched him jump from the table to to where we're sitting at, and that room cleared out quick. So imagine you got about 4 or 5 skaters with skates on, falling down a narrow staircase out into the street. And meanwhile, I'm still in the apartment with Nicholas. I'm still in there with him. Because now me and Nicholas are having this staring game. Because the rest of them ran out the side of the door and down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm looking out the window, and the other girl, not the girl who owned it, the other girl, she's out there and she's screaming her head off. And the guy's like, "It's in your hair! It's in your hair! It's yeah!" And I'm sitting there watching this madness unfold while I'm sitting there staring at this giant spider that's looking at me thinking, this thing's going to jump on me. Yeah, that's what they want. I couldn't imagine going home and telling my brother. They were laughing their freaking heads off. So I had to get out of the situation. I had to throw something in another direction. And the spider ran in that direction. Oh, it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The way it ran away. Oh my God, man. I swear that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. But I threw it in another direction and it ran after it. I went down the stairs. I ran down the stairs. I tripped on the first 3, and I actually rolled a little bit, but I actually caught myself on the banister and picked myself up, pushed myself out that door, and shut the door behind me. I never want to see her ever again. That was the craziest day we ever had in my entire life. But it was hilarious because that girl was like, "Hey, where's it at? Where's it at?" Because you get that creepy feeling. It's on you somewhere. Where's it at? It's in your hair. It's in your hair. Ah! She's screaming. Free. Them jerks are acting like idiots in the street, acting up. And I'm in there screaming in the background out the window. And I see this giant spider just sitting there staring at me. And I'm thinking, like, if I move, it's going to jump on me. I see a magazine next to me. I throw the magazine. Now imagine if I had threw the magazine in the process and it jumped on me as I'm throwing. Oh my God, I would have jumped out that window, I swear. And I didn't want to hit it because I didn't want it to bite me. Oh my goodness. And where's the owner at? Oh, she's in the corner laughing her head off. Because she thought that whole thing was hilarious. Should have brought a large iguana and came back. Anyway, that was jacked up too. That was a jacked up day. She thought it was funny. We still talked. We still cool at the end of that. They were so jacked up. We went back and told everybody at the end of the day, because everybody would come back from whatever they were at, whatever we were doing, whatever, and we'd all meet up at the top of the art museum and tell them those jacked up stories of what happened that day. And that spider story, man, topped everybody's in the day. Who got the spider? She does over there. She got that spider. Like, you want to meet it? I'll bring her by. No. You keep spider where spider belongs. Yeah, I'm going to ever break in that place ever. I think it's creepy as I don't know what. You ever seen the movie Stephen King? What's it called? The Mist. You ever seen that? Remember the spiders that were running around? That's what they look like. That's what it looked like when it took off. That thing was creepy as I don't know what. It ran. I mean, it actually ran. Usually some walking really slow. That thing took off running. And she was talking about, oh, it runs around the apartment all the time, and blah, 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 sleeping and all like that. You know, it's funny. It'll never hurt you. So, oh my goodness, what the freak is wrong with you? Oh, man, I tell you, that's some of the good memories I had. And that was a good memory. Good memory I had. I can sit back and say, I had a crazy, interesting life. I had an actual crazy, interesting life. I've jumped out of a plane. I've done that. Talking too much trash. Talking too much trash got me 30,000 feet in the air to jump out of a plane with a man on my back. Talking too much trash. Didn't realize that, talking a lot of stuff like, yeah, I want to jump out. I don't know where it came from. We're all sitting there talking. We had a new guy with us that day we're skating with. And apparently his father was an old Air Force guy, and he ran a place where he taught people how to jump out of planes. Yeah, that was a perfect time. We didn't even know. And we saw a plane fly over and said, man, one day I'll let you jump out of a plane. He's like, really? Are you serious about that? And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do it in a hot second, man. I'll definitely. Now, you mind your boys, you got to back that up. And the rest of them all agreed, like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man. All of us jumping out of a plane together, that'd be freaking sick. I was like, that'd be amazing. I was like, it's funny you could say that. My father owns it, and there you go. Yep, couldn't back out of that one. Nope, couldn't back out of it. I did punk out 7 times. I punked out 7 freaking times. I can honestly say when we got up there, we were doing the whole training course and how to land and all that stuff. Well, that was pretty funny games until you got up there and and the engine's going off, and you realize where you're at the end of the day. Like, oh my God, your legs freeze up. You can't breathe right. Your throat straight slobber starts thickening up in your throat. You are terrified. I had to jump out there. And I even though I had a man on my back to control it, and still, your face first. Who do you think hits the ground first? You or him? It's going to be you. So anyway, I pumped out 7 times. He didn't mind. It was free. He was hooking us up, you know. And the guy was like, anytime you guys are ready, you let me know. Because he knew he was talking trash. You probably told him he was talking trash. He probably did that to scare us. Until we got up there and these women were up there. And these women jumped. They were jumpers. They were used to jumping. They were regulars. They jumped all the time. And the first, when they jumped out, they said, we'll see you on the ground. You're surprised what you do for a woman. You'll be really surprised. Ladies, you have a conversation with your man one day. Ask him about some of the jacked up stuff he's done for women. You'd be shocked and awe and surprised the stuff that men will do for women. I jumped out of a plane for women. Yep. Because they said, we'll see you on the ground. So how are we supposed to handle that situation? Be punks? Sit up there, have the plane come down, and then walk of shame? Nah, I ain't going out like that. So we jumped. And let me tell you something. It was amazing, but I don't think I heard most of it because I was screaming like a woman on the way down. I didn't say I took it like a man. I screamed like a woman on the way down. I could have beat Mariah Carey easy in that high note with no problem whatsoever. Hopefully they didn't hear it when I was coming down. Man, I was pretty loud in that whole ordeal. And after a while, halfway through it, you start laughing. Because, you know, you figure that you're going to die. So, you know, I mean, whatever. I mean, parachute takes up and shoot up in the air. It's pretty crazy. Now I see why people do that when they get old. It's like being reborn. Because you feel like you're going to die at first. Yeah. Oh, well, let me get my boxes, having my fun reminiscing. Look at me back here reminiscing about my things, like crazy stuff I've done in my young years now. Up in an old man now. Up in an old man. Now I'm going here building portals and all that other crazy stuff. I'm definitely going to New York City for that. I'm going to get myself some missions. I love missions. It's my favorite bleed. Some missions. Get myself a mission hockey jersey. Pick me up an mission hockey stick. I like to skate with a hockey stick. I love hitting a hockey stick. Get myself a nice puck. Go out there and have some fun. Meet some people. I should tag my family in there too. Like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. You're the only one that freaking skate. Well, I should just go ice skate too. I do both. I can run on skates, jump on skates, dance on skates, fight on skates. Yeah. Gotta use a hockey stick. Yeah. Anytime we went to Rockefeller, they went down with the hockey sticks. We all went down there. We saw. I think we gotta go down there. The skating ring we have is one of the biggest. Skating ring down there. This skating ring down there is huge. Oh, let's go there. We all drove up there to New York City to go skate. That's the kind of fun I had as growing up in my young years. Besides when I got into all that trouble, started getting in trouble. But before that, yeah, hanging out with a bunch of friends of mine going up there. And I'll tell you one thing. I can say one thing. I learned something about hanging around with white people. They'll do the most interesting stuff I've ever seen in my life. But that's how I learned a lot. That's how I learned to play hockey. I got ridiculed in my own hood for playing hockey because I was black. And black people ain't supposed to play hockey. I done heard that so many times it made me sick to my stomach. Black people ain't supposed to be skateboarders. Yeah, man. Some people would say at the end of the day that, hey, that's fantastic, you know what I mean? Keep it up. But then you had some other people in the day tomorrow, you're not supposed to be on them skates because of black. So a black guy can't basically be a skater. That's what you're saying at the end of the day. We don't. Good gracious, man. I lived in the hood. Most people play basketball. I can play basketball too. But I prefer hockey. I like hockey. I like aggressive sports. I like that. I like to camp. I like to fish. All that stuff. I can snowboard a little bit. I used to skateboard a little bit. I ain't professional, but I can snowboard a little bit. But I'm not supposed to do that. I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do because I like to have fun. And I got that all the time. Only black man in the hood that actually was wearing a hockey jersey and CCM and sometimes mission skates, and I played hockey. You see me skating in and coming in and out. Leave out around 11 o'clock in the evening, or the afternoon, and meet up with my crew, come back and walk through some of my times about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't hardly spend any time in the hood because I was out there skating. Bam! All right, we got to get a portal done. I'm going back. I ain't know that. When she sent me, I was like, where is this at? I thought it was an old video. I said, no. They started an escape routine of New York City. I'm going. Pack up my bag, going up with my crew, I'm going. Went to New York City a couple times for skating. That's how I realized that the bus on the subway goes to the beach. So that's the hard way. Got on the wrong one. Ended up on the beach. I thought that was the most craziest thing ever. Like, oh, wait a minute. We can go to the beach by taking the sub? That's crazy. I got on the wrong one. And next thing I got that Coney Island up there looking around like, got my sandals in my bag. Might as well. So I went there and chilled. I spent the day out there at Coney Island. Had a ball. Yep, that was pretty cool. Ed called me and said, where you at? I'm in Coney. I'm up here having a ball. That's what I got GTA, because I actually went out there. I've been out in that section before. And they let the, whatever they were having down there, came up there and chilled with me. Well, that was a great time too, man. That was an amazing time, man. Amazing time we had out there, man. There were people out there late at night, and there were, bonfire, that they're chilling and singing and drinking and having fun. Man, I got a chance to meet a lot of people. Sometimes I don't like to be around people all the time, but in some situations like that, I try to meet as many people as I possibly can. Hang out, have fun, chill, learn about people at the end of the day. Get some good new friends at the end of the day. Yep. That's time for me to get out of my bubble for a little bit. I'm going to meet new people. Yeah. Okay, because I've been working too much. I got to go get my phone done. We got our section already finished. I'm going to paint this thing. Get it done. We got 2 that are missing. How will you those? I think we got those for something else. Yeah, we do. So we'll take a journey. I gotta go take a journey and look at it. Going on a trip on a magic rocket ship. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, let me go set that up and get that done. That 2 How far do we have to be back for that to land the whole thing? Which is going to be interesting to find out how far we have to be back. Chrissy on that side to do it. Only this one in, because this is using a lot of power. Doesn't heat up the environment. Chimneys can stay on. They don't heat up anything in the environment. So that one right there is going to stay on. So that doesn't really heat up anything. So that's the plus side of having those chimneys in their quarter. So you think of them as taller than them, as tall as me. Yeah, this one was taller than me. I'm 5'11", so I've done a portrait transparent screen. I just never did one in plexiglass, ever. This will be my first one I do in plexiglass. This is kind of different from the day. Alright, hope you enjoyed, hope you enjoyed the time we had here. I gotta come and get that done. I still gotta get to my website, get some work done on there. I still have not been postponing that. Taking care of other stuff, It had to be done, people. Y'all had the opportunity to stop it. You really did. You know what? What if I didn't intervene in that nonsense and that machine blew up and killed somebody? Or killed him. Somebody in that family. Yeah, these people are just at the end of the day. You just can't do stuff like that, man. You can't be reckless. Can't be reckless. You could have really hurt somebody with that. Could have really hurt somebody with that. Hope, God forbid, he ran that thing when he went to sleep. Those fumes, he could never woke up. A lot of things could have went wrong. When you're running that many machines, it's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. He said 12 hours. It took him 12 hours to complete the Jason mask. That means he had to be running them at night. Because if you're talking about 12 hours, you're talking about 2 days. Maybe he did it within a day. It said 2 days to do it. Roughly had to run them at night. I wouldn't put it past him. He ran those things at night when he went to sleep. That's never good. That's not good. All right, I gotta go. Let me